Didn't see it come in there. Bongwater Beverage Company is sponsoring this great video. If you guys can't tell, I'm a little up right now. And that is because we had our special 420 show, and I had so much bong water, I actually think I gave myself brain damage. I had so much. Once again, sponsoring this great video. Check them out if you're in the great state of Minnesota, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, parts of Texas, parts of Wisconsin. I am not kidding. I had 300 milligrams, I don't know, it was crazy. I was like up for a day, so it was awesome, super fun. Thank you guys for coming to the Whatnot 420 special. Bongwater Beverage Company, that takes such great care of me. Again, this is a THC infused product. It obviously is designed to hit you fast, as I always say. It tastes great, and it's quite potent. So check it out if you're a fan of THC products, if you live in those great states. There is a link in the video description. All right, I'm gonna put my head on straight here, and we're gonna get to a great video and a great monologue. Check out Bongwater Beverage Company. Thanks, Bongwater, for taking such good care of me. I did this to me, not them, me. All right, so before I get into this, the first most important thing I want to say here is if you served in the Vietnam War, thank you for your service, truly. What was done to you when you came home was horrible. This whole war was such a mess. It was such a cluster quagmire, one of the worst ones in military history. I mean, obviously we've had some other wars that were pretty messy too, but this one, I mean, this was just a mess. So this flag here, you know, this probably, if you serve, this probably inspires fear in you just looking at this flag. This was the Viet Cong flag. I am going to be selling this on my Whatnot tonight. All right, so let's talk about the Viet Cong if you don't know about them. Established in 1960 and firmly known as the National Liberation Front, the Viet Cong were a guerrilla paramilitary entity that were mainly South Vietnamese dissidents, anti-political activists, people who wanted to overthrow the South Vietnamese government, were in favor of communism, again being funneled, trains supplied through the north, but largely composing of South Vietnamese hiding out in the jungles, waging guerrilla warfare tactics against the United States and the South Vietnamese army. Now, the root of the conflict goes back to 1954 with the French Indochina War, which, you know, the French lost, and it just created this, it destabilized the whole region, and it ended up becoming a 20-year conflict, very much like Afghanistan was. Vietnam was divided into the North and South at the end of the French Indochina War. At the 17th parallel, it was only supposed to be temporary, but in 1956, it spiraled out of control and turned into a full-scale war. And in effect, what you have is capitalism versus communism being fought as a proxy. Instead of the United States and Russia fighting each other, you have the United States-backed South Vietnam fighting the USSR Soviet Communist-backed North Vietnam. Now, I'm simplifying it. It's obviously way more complicated than this. I really don't want to get into it because I could sit here and talk for hours. But the Viet Cong was designed to be the opposite of the United States and its military machine. The United States was still coming high off winning World War II, and they were used to fighting conventional large-scale battles with another major superpower where you are clashing with all your might, all your military weapons, all your training, all your special devices, all of your money. This is what they were used to fighting. And the Viet Cong, this guerrilla warfare was the exact opposite of that. It became the crux of what is the quagmire of modern war, where you have really expensive machines and soldiers that are well trained and well equipped, and there's just so much money, and you're fighting something that costs $5. The Viet Cong were using unconventional fast attack warfare. They used tunnels, they used AK-47s, which were highly reliable and cheap, versus the United States largely had, I think, M16s. They were known for jamming. They were just in the jungle, and they're expensive. The Viet Cong were not discriminating in sex. There would be men fighters, there would be women fighters, versus the United States obviously was only employing male fighters and the South Vietnamese army. The Viet Cong also knew the land, and they took advantage of this. They would have ambushes, booby traps, they'd have mines, you know, all kinds of horrible traps in the jungle designed to quick pop up, hit, and then leave just as fast. And then this constant wearing down your enemy tactic. It was a motherfucker to the United States. The war officially ended in 1975, but the effects of the war are still felt to this day in Vietnam. For one, a lot of the booby traps that were left by the Viet Cong, such as landmines, they're still out there. People still die from those. And you know what else is still there? To play devil's advocate, Agent Orange! It's gonna be there forever. It is still detectable. It like never goes away. It has ruined the country of Vietnam permanently. This whole war was just such a mess, and really such a prelude to the messes that warfare would become in the modern age. And honestly, let's just say sides didn't learn their lesson, because we see a lot of the same repeated mistakes in future conflicts taking place. And again, if you served, thank you. I'm not throwing shade on anyone who served by any means. You are American heroes if you went and served in this conflict. Much of a mess as it was, I probably would have dodged the draft. But that's the Viet Cong. Hooray! Oh, no. AIDS, yes. Hooray, no.
He's a creepy old man in a windowless van who wants to babysit the con artist can.
It's life-sized. Hooray. This is so creepy.
Dude, just is that the only thing you saw out of the truck?
This is all I saw I want to buy, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really want to buy this, but sure.
Terrible things were done to me. You don't know what I've seen.
No, I don't. You poor thing.
Do the best you can, boss man. Help me out.
All right, let's see here. What is this? Robin Woods, the Collectible Doll Company. I know, Katie, it's very creepy. You ever been to Utah?
No. You gonna go there?
No, I just was thinking child brides and...
Take me on a trip, dude.
I wonder what that would look like.
Dude. You're funny, Evan. You're funny. Evan, is $40 too much?
$40 is too much. I'll give you 30.
Would you go 35?
I'll give you 30.
Give me 35.
$30 it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 30 bucks. All right, so we got 30, 10, 20, 30. Your ticket of admission. There she is. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's gonna live in my basement until it does. Actually, it's gonna live in my apartment because I'm taking everything out of my basement, putting it in my apartment, so we have more storage down there.
Thank you, dude. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Oh, Patty.
Thank you.
I know. That man should be in prison for high crimes, but here he is peddling crap to us. Yeah, we just bought evidence of a murder. Nice meet you.
So the doll actually is $150. There's 3 examples like it on eBay. I'm gonna put it up right now. It's limited edition. They only made 250 of those, but like the Gold Shop paid him $30 for his doll. I think that's fair. The Gold Shop, not pedophile Toys R Us. God, this thing's creepy. So again, though, it is numbered here. I'm gonna list this right now because we got so much basement. I kind of want to get ahead of it, and this won't take me long to list. And like weirdly, I have a day where I don't have that much to do. I put one of those Patty Whiteling for Congress buttons. I put it under a seat to on them. All right, back to it. What do we got?
Some coins.
Okay. Did you inherit these or
No.
these are yours?
They are trying to get a decent deal on them.
Did you have a price in mind on this one?
That one?
Yeah.
Probably like 60.
Okay, I can do 60. Do you have a price on these two?
Those? So this one I was thinking like 125 and like maybe like 130.
How about 115 each?
Okay.
You have GSAs?
I do.
That's all right.
I have an 85 in there as well.
85 is common. What do you want on these?
So for everything, 27.
I probably don't want to do that because these don't sell fast. I don't think I can make you a fair offer, but I know somebody who can.
Okay.
If you're interested, I'm interested in doing these.
Yeah.
Here, I'll write down this guy where you should bring these. What's your price on each of those Morgans?
These?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to, I would 200 a piece.
This is fine. This one here, reverse is stronger. This one I'd be at like 100 on.
Okay.
Yeah, so you start right here above the ear, and then you kind of go out, cheek. This one's a little bit higher grade. Just for the sake of a video, I give you 200 on this one. I think that's about all it's worth. These C's look kind of funny. I don't like that. I'm actually gonna pass on this one. These C's, see how they're kind of stacked weird? Like one's like over the other? Because people glue on or they doctor mint marks all the time. Carson City obviously is the most common one.
Yeah.
I don't see it done often. I just see it done. You'd have to send this in to get it to know for sure.
Know for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the way those C's are.
Yeah. I'll check you guys out. Thank you. And I'll
Absolutely.
try to come back today. Appreciate your time though.
Absolutely. Have a great day. So I asked him, do you inherit these coins or are these your coins? Because I knew those coins are pretty expensive and I wanted, if he inherited them, it means he doesn't know about them. I can throw out whatever offer. I don't really need to take my time. If they're his coins, which they were, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to throw out a lowball offer. Let's speed this up because this will take me a while. That was a pretty good lesson, though. I'm pretty sure that Carson City was not legitimate, but we'll see if he comes back. Honestly, I don't want to buy that stuff. I've kind of been getting beat up on Whatnot lately. I just, for whatever reason, people are being cheap. And like the deals have been like too good. I've been getting a little frustrated on there, and I've been like kind of trying to hold it together. But last night, I was like, I actually straight up shut off the auction. I just was like, I'm not working a 13-hour day to work for free for 4 hours, so I'm like not making money on this stuff. But if he comes back at what I offered him $11.90, I'll make about $400 or $500, I think. Once again, you guys, I want to thank our episode sponsor, Bong Water Beverage Company. As I mentioned, we had our 420 show this weekend. I had a lot of it. It's such a great product. Bong Water is in Minnesota, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, parts of Texas, parts of Wisconsin. I hear it's quite hard to find in Texas and Wisconsin. They tell me it's there. So check it out if you're in those great states. It must be 21 years of age or older to consume, at least in Minnesota. Again, it's a THC product. It's not that Delta 8 or 10 shit, it's Delta 9. It gets you great. Yeah, let's get into it, you guys. We're Between the Pond. I'm Evan. Let's talk about my weekend. All my greatness since I've seen you guys last. All my greatness? Okay. So I went, we had the 420 special show, which we started last year on Whatnot. If you guys don't have Whatnot, please download it with my code. There's a link in the video description. It's TikTok meets eBay. I'm sure you all know this at this point because I say it every week. It's like 60% of my whole multi-million-dollar business. In fact, all these Morgans I just bought, I'm selling all of them on Whatnot. We're selling episode topics on Whatnot. If you guys want to pick these episode topics, what I researched for my Pawn Man episode, we will be selling those on there. We had a special 420 show on Saturday. Last year when we did the 420 show, my dad happened to be in town, so I had him on camera and we got pretty blitzed. And then this year I made it like a whole event. I stopped at, okay, so this, a problem I've been having is the market has not caught up to how expensive the metal prices are. The metal prices just took off over the last like 2 months, but I'm having, at least a Whatnot, a hard time getting people paying what they should be. It's frustrating because it means I'm not making that much money. I'm seeing that's an issue. I can't prove this yet because I don't have enough data in front of me and this hasn't been going long enough. I am thinking the economy is really worse than people realize, and I think a lot of people are really hurting and it's starting to show. My barometer is, and I think it's gonna happen around this fall, when there's a line out my door of people selling me everything out of desperation, that's when you start to know if there's a solid week of that, that's when you know the economy is really bad. People are like not doing well, and you're seeing with what's happening with the metal markets exploding the way that they are. I was on WCCO News a couple weeks ago, and I said the same thing to them, that like basically the economy, what we have right now, what we're being presented is a fancy fine dining situation with a nice meal put on a fancy table with a white cloth. Fact is, the table holding it up is rotting. It's all about to come collapsing down, and I think that's happening. With that in mind, I can't recommend you guys buying metals enough right now. I still don't think it's too late. What else do I want to say? My last couple weeks have been really good. It's been good for me. I mean, there's a lot of stress for me to decouple and to heal, but it's gonna take 3 months probably of me having the proper apparatuses in here, handling everything, running everything smoothly. I hired somebody to run this business and he's doing a great job. He's made this business so much more efficient in the 3 weeks that he's been here. Those of you that buy on Whatnot, you probably noticed that suddenly there's not 2-week shipping delays. You're getting your stuff right away. It's because of him. So he's gonna do that first, and then he's gonna move to other aspects of this business. He's basically gonna go problem to problem and fix it. And I am now a month away from having 2 more people working here basically full time. Once I have all of them plus jewelry person here every day, or basically every day, my life is gonna be way less stressful. Expect to see me streaming every day, or just about. Expect to see 5 Whatnot auctions per week. It'll at least be 4. Expect to see a whole lot more of me on here, more videos, more content for Patreons. I wanna start writing posts. I know I've been saying I'm gonna do that, but like I'm almost to the point of having the time to do it. I have some, there's some other things that are still happening behind the scenes that I'm working on that are eating a lot of time, but pretty much had my lawyers take over everything for that. I've done all the heavy lifting I had to do with getting that ready. What is it? It's the Manhattan Project. I'm dropping a nuclear bomb on something. What is it? I don't know. Don't look directly at it, and definitely take it as a warning to not do that, because you could expect one of those too. And speaking of written Patreon posts, if you guys want to become a Patreon, there's going to be more content. There's currently, if you don't know, you get this. So $1 per month, you get early access to my videos. Everybody who's a Patreon gets a link before the videos come out. Also, you get exclusive Patreon only videos. We've done 4 of them. I'm gonna be doing more of them going forward, but nobody else gets to see them. Only you do. You also get the uncensored versions of the videos. You don't get the censored one, the donkey ball, like all that. On top of that, the videos are about 5 to 7 minutes longer. There's a lot of bonus content, and I'm gonna be doing some written content as well. It does help me tremendously. If you wanna do that, or if you wanna come to my Whatnot auctions and tip, that helps too, or become a YouTube super fan. Positivity. That was the last thing I want to talk about. Somebody majorly pissed me off, and they did some like really, what was weird was they were a customer. I'd done like a few deals with them, and I liked, like, they seemed fine, and then out of nowhere, they decided they hated my guts, and I was a thief and a scam artist and a liar, and they went running like all up and down trying to smear my videos. They invested like quite a lot of time into it. It was like kind of crazy that they were doing. So I looked at their profile and it was like, you know, it's like a picture of like his wife and his kids. I wrote like, You're a family man. Your children are wondering where you are. Go spend time with them. Stop wasting your time attacking some person on the internet you've never met. And go be a fucking father, you asshole. This guy, he wrote something back. I wasn't serious. I said, like, I'm gonna, like, show this on my social media or something like that. I wrote something like, just as like, ha, scare you. And this guy went nuts. And I'm not gonna get into how crazy this person became. I just decided, like, positivity, I'm not gonna drag this person through the mud because at that point, I'm on their level and I don't need to use a sledgehammer on an ant. Just to be clear though, if you write something crazy on my page, and I show your Facebook profile, that's not doxing. Doxing is if I publish your address. So, I just want to inject that I made the conscientious decision, although here I am talking about it. At least I'm not like doing, like I was gonna go fire and brimstone on this guy and I was like, no, let's be positive, let's stop this and I think that just the fact, I'm learning. My friend Mike could be proud of me, I'm learning. Also, speaking of positive, I went to New York City for 36 hours. It was awesome. Go look at my Evan Kale page. I honestly should just rename it Evan and Robert Drink because it's just Robert and I going on trips and drinking. I go on like every trip I go on with my friend Robert. Robert was having a party for his birthday on Saturday. His birthday was like in the week, but he invited a ton of people and basically everybody told him they couldn't go. You guys, in New York City, I go out there so often. I stay with Robert. I have an air mattress at his place. I literally bought my own air mattress. Actually, I bought my own towels too, come to think of it. So I closed shop here, quickly bought a ticket, raced home, grabbed a backpack full of clothes, ran to the airport, hopped out of a cab at 7:30. He was standing on the street, like right as I pulled up and I jumped out like, Robert! Like jumped on him and yeah, he was very, very pleased. So we had a very fun night. Saturday, we stayed up all night, as we do when we're drinking and going out to bars. But Jordan, hi Jordan, Jordan's a fan, and really drink, Jordan, and we kind of had a loud conversation in like kind of a public space about Techo Monster Gal. That was interesting. And then Sunday, Robert and I woke up at 2, drank again, all day, walked all over Brooklyn getting drunk. And then Robert tapped out at 10. He had to work the next day and I'm a bad influence on him. And then my other friend Benji was across town in Manhattan. So I went to this other party and I got back to Robert's at 3:30 in the morning. Stepped out of a cab, puked all over the streets of Brooklyn, couldn't sleep, hopped on a flight back here. And that was my 36-hour quick trip. And then the last thing I want to talk about, we are putting through, I decided the DB Cooper, the minis, we are going to do those. I think they're going to be like 1.5 ounces. They're not signed, they're not numbered. It's the same design, Lady Liberty Bullion. He just shrunk the mold. We also have, I didn't get to it in this video, I will be interviewing Brad Goss very soon. I have my 1 ounce silver bullion. Only 100 were made. They come with cards. They're numbered, signed. Head to pawnmanstore.com. Best spot to get stuff. All right, with that, let's just get into the questions because I am rambling like a motherfucker. All right, question 1 coming in from Plastic Nerd 8609 says, what is a good way to store coins that's not a graded stab? I think you mean slab. I know you say not to press them in a block. Okay, you have to be careful with plastic because plastic PVC residue can come off over time. I wouldn't store something in plastic longer than a few years. Just honestly get it graded. Or probably the best thing you could do if you're wearing gloves. No, you guys, you don't have to wear gloves to touch coins. In fact, most coin books say don't. I say do, because there's nasty on people's fingers. When you touch a coin, touch it by the rim. There's certain kinds of plastic you should be mindful of in the gloves. I think latex is fine. They make special coin gloves. I actually don't like those because they're not tight, so you gotta be really careful picking them up. But I'd say put on some gloves and then put it in a plastic, like hard plastic capsule that you can open up. Make sure it's not like jumbled around. But I would say those are probably the best. Either that or just get it graded, because the grading is the best encapsulation. That's why the companies exist. If you do put them in plastic, make sure you don't put them someplace where it's hot, because again, the plastic can melt. All right, next question. This is a really, really good question. Zachary got at 2467. Does Mexican silver have any connections to the cartel, and does it have any added collectability like Somalian silver used by the warlords? So, first off, I've only heard this, and I've heard this from multiple sources. I've heard it from enough sources where I'm confident enough to say that to some degree, there's some degree of truth to it. These Somali Republic shillings, which are made by the Dutch government and are distributed in Somalia, I mean, they're distributed all over the world, but it says Somali wildlife on it. Supposedly, Al-Shabaab, the Islamic militant warlords, are using that to buy guns and everything for their evil. As a result of them using it, there is a collectability to it, and it also makes them scarce. Is silver from Mexico collectible for the same reason because the cartel sometimes use precious metals? No, and here's the difference. The Al-Shabaab, the militant group, or all these jihadi militant groups, they're running a theocratic crusade. And they're running a theocratic crusade unlike anything in theocratic history of humanity since the Crusades. As a result of what they're doing, how they're doing it, it makes their stuff more collectible. The cartels, again, are probably using Mexican bullion. The cartels are not the same as a militant group like this. The cartels are just trying to get paid. Therefore, the bullion pieces they're using and the collectability as a result of that are two different things, in my opinion. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That I thought was a great question.
Speaking of question. Oh. Small town. Oh. Open a swim school. Shiny little facility. Still got the pool. Buy a couple insurance policies. 6 months in, start building a community with the swim school. Oh. Till one day, power outage, middle class. Oh. 3 little girls drowned. Oh. Big insurance payout. Heartbroken. Oh. Time off in Tahiti. Real broken up. Talking to the bartender on the beach. Says, it's important to do the things that you love. Life, I said. Oh, pal. You're doubting me. Oh.
So they moved to a small town. They opened a swim school. They got a ton of life insurance, like insurance policies for negligence. They made sure specifically to buy a shoddy building so that it was explainable. They waited for lights to go out. They drowned 3 kids in a pool in plain sight in front of the parents in the dark, and then act like, oh, got an insurance payout, and then they went to Tahiti after murdering 3 kids. What's your favorite true crime story? You, outside of you. The Silk Road. Hot take, you guys. Ross Albright should be out of prison. He never should have gotten what they did to him. They just wanted to make an example out of him. His case was so corrupt. Yeah, he did some bad he probably knew about the murder for hire aspect. That's questionable. But all the testimony that was entered was flawed for the most part. The lead FBI agent on the case ended up serving 3 years because he was skimming Bitcoin off the top and making millions on the side. You guys should read a book called American Kingpin. One of the best crime books I've ever read. I am way in favor of free drugs for everybody. I think all drugs should be legal and taxed and regulated by the government. And what he was trying to do here was a version of that, and you can't undermine the federal government like that. And as a result of that, when they nailed him, they wanted to make an example out of him so nobody ever did it again. And sure enough, at least in the United States, nobody's really done it again the way that he did it. I mean, there's some offshoot sites that have tried to and probably still exist, but yeah, the Silk Road. All right, next question. Hi, Evan. Love your content. It is always so educational. I'm new to numismatics because you got me interested in it. What's the best thing to start buying to build your collection? Also a good question. I strongly recommend buying wheat pennies that are graded MS65 red or higher. I'd recommend getting ones from 1940 and earlier. The reason being, and I've said this so many times, pennies are, in my opinion, massively undervalued as a numismatic collectible. You could get a great example in a very high grade for pretty cheap. 1909, 1910, and 1920, those can get more expensive. I'd recommend start with those if you can afford it. At least get an MS65 or higher. But pennies, you guys, by and large, they're very cheap. You can get great examples of them. I only recommend getting wheat pennies and earlier. The reason being, I think they're gonna cancel the pennies soon. And when they do, they'll go up in value in terms of being a collectible. Get ones that are graded by NGC. Last question coming in from Mean One says, so I'm hoping you're not getting burned out. Keep the videos coming, ignore the haters. Yeah, I'm trying to. Are you still working on more videos between these? As of right now, I'm still burned out. I've been burned out for about 6 months. I'm getting better. The summer, I think, is gonna be a lot better. So I gotta take some more time off. I'm hoping by the end of the summer, this business we fixed all the cash problems. We fixed all the other problems. Everything is running smoothly. We're putting lots of content on the internet. But as of right now, yeah, I am pretty burned out. Well, you guys, that'll about do it for this Between the Pond. If you got questions, post them in the comment section below so that I have questions to answer on the next Between the Pond. Please consider becoming a Pondman Patreon. Patreon.com/Pondman. $1 a month gets you access to my content. You get the uncensored version. You get Patreon exclusive videos. There are soon to be written posts as well. Get my books. I didn't mention this either. I actually have a summer writing project I want to work on. We'll see if I get to it. Visit PondmanStore.com to shop. Again, it's not too late, you guys, to buy precious metals. Buy it from me. I'm cheap. I'm literally cheaper than everything else. I saw American Precious Metal Exchange. They're one of the big box stores. I am $50 cheaper than they are for a roll of 2020 Silver Eagles. $50. So again, PondmanStore.com. See you guys back here for another great Between the Pond. Follow me on Whatnot too. Later, guys.